Good morning. This is Cindy Moss, and I'm just going to give you a quick overview of this chapter 9 and 10, week 4. Believe it or not, you're almost halfway done with this class. Hopefully, you are beginning to take some objectives from the class and be able to apply it to your personal finances and things that would help you become successful in managing your money. Chapter 9 and 10 are both dealing with being homeowners and insurance and buying and selling a house and also renting. At this point, when you get ready to think about and you graduate, if you do not own your own home, you have to make a decision whether you want to rent or whether you want to buy. Most of us, as soon as we graduate college, we're not quite ready to buy a house yet because we are not established in our career and we're not really sure where we might land as far as location. So, if you are not married and you're already not settled in a career, you might just want to rent a condo or a house or townhouse or something like that for a year or two until you get established, and then you know exactly where you want to buy a house at the location. So once you start thinking about buying a house, one of the things is you want to know where you want to be. What is your price range? And you might want to go ahead and find a mortgage broker that would pre-qualify you for how much you would be available. And that way you're not overlooking at houses that are out of your price range. That would be a suggestion I would make, is know how much you would qualify for. Another thing is, please don't make the mistake of trying to buy the same type of house that your parents have now, because you have to remember your parents started out probably small, and as they grew, then they built they would sell and they would use the equity to buy a bigger house. So most of us don't want to start out at the same type of price bracket that our parents are and get ourselves in financial difficulty just to make sure we had a house that was equal to what our parents have. Another thing you want to look at is that you've got to come up with money for closing costs, attorney's fees, termite inspections, um, buying drapes, buying blinds, buying appliances. So, just saying I'm going to buy a $250,000 house, you don't have you got to make sure you have the extra capital to take care of everything else. One thing is, if you finance your house, of course, a mortgage company is going to make you put escrow where you're paying taxes and insurance, so that's something you don't have to worry about at the end of the year, which I think is a good thing for new home buyers. Another thing is, after you've been in your house, and you should know how much time it takes to build equity in a house, then and you want to sell and move on, then do you want to use a real estate agent? Do you want to do for sale by owner? Do you know how much your house is worth? Have you taken care of your house? You want to make sure that your house is clean, it's painted, it's fresh, so that when people come in, they see your house and say, this is the house I want to buy. So those are a couple of things that you want to think about when you're buying and selling a house. Now, this chapter 10 is talking about property and liability insurance and car insurance. This is one of those chapters where people just cringe because they hate to spend money on insurance, but it's one of those necessary evils that we say. You don't think about it until you need it. Again, if you financed a house, you have to have insurance anyway. If you finance a car, you have to have insurance to protect the lien holder of your property. But you do want to make sure that you have good insurance. You do want to make sure that do you have replacement value, if that's an option for you and it's not too much. That's something I would suggest, is to have replacement value of homeowners insurance. Also, you want to make sure you have enough liability if somebody slips and falls at your house, that it's taken care of. So that's something you want to look at to make sure that you have that. The last part of chapter 10 talks about automobile insurance. Again, you need to make sure that you have adequate coverage, depending on the state you live in, what is required. And then again, a lot of times you can bundle your insurance with your homeowners and your car insurance, and that would be a way of saving money. So those are just some quick overviews of chapter 9 and 10. Make sure you do your discussion board before Thursday and you reply to all the others. So hopefully you have a great week. Thank you.